Have you noticed it? That silence. The kind that creeps in just before the storm. Because something's going on at HGTV, and the fans, they're not imagining it anymore? A quiet wave of disappearances. Shows canceled. Voices fading. And now, a cryptic warning has thrown gasoline on the fire. So if you thought this was just a string of coincidences, think again. Let's talk about what HGTV doesn't want you to hear. It all started with a short, eerie clip from Bargain Block's Keith Bynum. He doesn't name names. He doesn't point fingers. But what he does say has everyone on edge. Looking straight into the camera, he says, "If you're not a straight, cis, white tribe wife with a thick husband, Molly, you in danger, girl." Was it a joke? To some, maybe? But longtime viewers heard it loud and clear. This was a veiled message, a warning. And suddenly, everything started making sense. Bargain Block, the very show that made Keith and Evan household names, was axed. No major announcement, no grand farewell, just gone. And this wasn't just any show. It brought attention to Detroit's forgotten neighborhoods. It showed queer love, real community, and design with soul. Fans didn't just watch for pretty homes. They watched for Keith and Evan. And when HGTV pulled the plug, the internet exploded with one question. Why? Then came another shocker. Married to Real Estate, led by Egypt Sherrod and her husband Mike Jackson, was also dropped. This show was one of HGTV's few Black-led success stories. It was relatable, uplifting, and full of cultural pride. And yet, it vanished. Like it never mattered. Where was the statement? The goodbye episode? The closure? Nothing. Just static. Fans saw it for what it was, a disturbing trend. If you thought it couldn't get more obvious, think again. Farmhouse Fixer, starring Jonathan Knight of New Kids on the Block fame, was next. Jonathan is openly gay. His show was heartfelt, nostalgic, and real. He restored New England homes with history and care. Viewers adored him. But just like the others, gone. No fanfare, no respect. And for many, it was the final straw. And the list doesn't stop there. Lux for Less, gone. The Nate and Jeremiah Home Project, shelved, unfinished business, dropped. All praised for their inclusive casting and emotional storytelling. All abruptly removed from the HGTV lineup. 1 or 2 shows? That's a coincidence. 5? That's a pattern. Now let's rewind. Keith's words didn't just sting. They exposed something deeper. If you're not a straight, cis, white tribe wife with a thick husband, Molly, you in danger. He said it twice. On purpose, and it wasn't for laughs. For many fans, it was a coded truth. If you don't fit the cookie-cutter HGTV mold, you're expendable. That's what shook people, because it didn't feel like drama. It felt like a warning. Across social media, the reaction was swift and raw. Fans flooded comment sections with frustration. Why are all my favorite shows disappearing? Is this the end of real representation on HGTV? I don't want another Joanna Gaines clone. I want authenticity. People weren't just upset. They felt betrayed. Because HGTV wasn't built on just paint swatches and tile samples. It was built on stories. For years, HGTV wore a badge of inclusivity. Gay couples, Black families, interracial teams. They were once the brand that showcased real America. But now, that badge is fading fast. Instead of embracing diverse voices, it looks like they're being pushed out, one show at a time. And if that's true, the fans aren't going to stay silent. So where does this all go from here? Are we witnessing a quiet shift in the network's identity, or is this just the beginning of a bigger purge? Whatever the answer, one thing's clear. Keith Bynum didn't speak out for no reason. He's seen what's happening from the inside. And his message, it wasn't subtle, it was a siren. So we ask you, is HGTV just restructuring the lineup? Or are they slowly scrubbing away the voices that made their shows matter? Are shows like Bargain Block and Farmhouse Fixer casualties of budget cuts? Or are they victims of something more uncomfortable? Tell us what you think. Drop a comment. Start the conversation. Because if fans don't speak up now, there may be nothing left of the HGTV we once knew. Like, subscribe and tap the bell, because this story isn't over. We're watching closely. And the next move HGTV makes, we'll be the first to tell you. Stay tuned.